All right. Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Legend of the Three Kingdoms. Yes, this is one of my homebrew D&D campaigns set in my weird, messed up homebrew D&D campaign setting, and the people below me are the people that just keep showing up that I haven't figured out why they haven't left me yet. So...
The
yeah.
answer is always so we can level up.
um, fun fact. I was running Tears of the Realms last weekend, and I'm doing my intro that I've done for 6 years almost at this point. And it's the same intro, but I put different titles in. But it's the same one I do here, though. Hello, welcome to another exciting episode. And I go, Traversing the Veil. And my entire cast just sits there going, nope, wrong game. How about Tears of the Realms? How's that sound? So I have lost my mind, and I have no idea where to find it. So
It's not like you're not like running like three friggin' games or anything.
announcements. We just found out, I think this morning, there's a Nintendo Direct tomorrow at like 7 a.m. Pacific time. And barring an act of God or something, I will probably be on Zelda Universe's Twitch channel live streaming it with whomever else can join us. It's twitch.tv/Zelda Universe TV tomorrow at an ungodly hour. And we will probably be where one of the things I've seen that people think that's because we're your favorite. Yes, Venus, that's exactly what it is. Miss you. For anyone wondering, Venus is one of the players in my other D&D campaign. But yeah, we think that we might actually get some info on the what was it? The Tears of the Kingdom amiibos that haven't come out yet. That I don't do amiibos, so I don't know if they've come out or not. But apparently, we're still waiting on Daddy Dorf. So that might be a thing. We always like to tease Elias, who is the head of the Twitch channel for ZU, and is also one of the founders of Metroid HQ. We always like to tease Elias that there's going to be a Metroid announcement. There never is. But it's always fun to try and see if we can get his hopes up and then smash them to pieces when it doesn't happen. Because we're wonderful, nice people. And then, obviously, the Switch 2 is going to be announced. Probably the same time as the Switch Pro is announced. And if I hear one more rumor that, yeah, it's a real thing, guys. But we'll see. It's something I'm doing tomorrow. It should be fun. The other thing, I haven't uploaded it yet, but I did record it. Renegade Game Studios, the guys that make Power Rangers and G.I. Joe and the Transformers RPG, all those things, they released 3 books in like a week. And last week I put out the Cobra Codex in-depth review. And that was fun. I just recorded the Power Rangers something in time. I can't remember the title of it. It's their Time Force source book, campaign setting, whatever you want to call it. Just recorded the video for it. I have to upload it probably later tonight after the game. And then sometime after that, I'm going to do the Decepticon directive, which lets you play as Decepticons in the Transformers game. So, youtube.com/TraderJody. Lots of multi-hour-long videos of me talking about RPGs. Yay. And then hopefully eventually I'll get back to my regular series where I introduce people to new RPG systems and then build characters in them, because that's fun. Yeah. I think that's it. There's been a lot of crap. Lost Mines of Phandelver, the new book that's based on it.
Shattered Obelisk.
There we go, the Shattered Obelisk. Lost Mines of Phandelver are, if you get the D&D Beginner's box, that is the adventure that comes bundled with the box. And it's a remarkably good adventure. It's a nice introductory adventure for new players. This new one, the Shattered Obelisk. Let me see if I can actually get... there we go. Phandelver and Below, the Shattered Obelisk. is a campaign that you can basically run that starts at the end of that beginning of adventure. And yeah, the early access for that, if you bought the physical digital bundle, the early access for that started, I want to say early last or late last week. So that's a new thing as well if you're into D&D. Because I have no impulse control, I have every 5th edition D&D book that has been released. And I plan to continue purchasing all of them until 5th edition is done. I have no idea if I will continue this with D&D now. But yeah, so I have the physical is coming, and I already have access to the digital one. I haven't looked through it yet, but everything I've heard is it's interesting and fun. So, and again, the adventure that it's based on is a good intro adventure, which is hard to do. So, cool stuff there. Other than that, this time of the year there are so many things that are happening because Finster's Monster Manic is coming out, I think, in November. There's two more big D&D releases that are happening before the end of the year. You have the Deck of Many Things thingy that's coming out, and then also Planescape, the Planescape campaign setting is coming out in December. There's just like this is what was it? Renegade also launched Werewolf the Apocalypse, the newest version of it. Because they publish what used to all be published by White Wolf, the World of Darkness stuff. They have Vampire the Masquerade and a bunch of supplements for that. They've done Hunter the Reckoning. Now they have Werewolf the Apocalypse. So that stuff is all coming out right now. Like this is, it's like it's Q4, and everyone is putting out products so that people can buy them during the holiday season. It's weird. Anyway,
The
so
new game that came out, that you're interested in something from, I'll say it, Darrington Press, the Queen by Midnight.
oh, did that come out too? Yeah, Darrington Press is putting up crap
Yeah,
now.
they did a play they played a game. Well,
Now that's a board game, right? That's
yeah,
not an
that's a board
RPG.
game.
Okay, so it's a
They
board game.
actually
Candela
they they
Obscura.
they streamed it.
Yeah, I know. I missed the stream, but I'll have to watch the VOD. Candela Obscura, if I remember correctly, is that fully out now or no?
There's the
There's like a quick start guide to it.
yeah, there's a quick start guide.
And
It,
then the other one that they're coming up with, the other one they're designing, they have shown, they've done interviews and stuff about it, but I don't think we've gotten much beyond
Daggerheart?
interviews. Yeah, Daggerheart. They've done some interviews and stuff and talked about it. But so Darrington Press is putting out big stuff now. Like this is a great time to be an RPG lover. I'm gonna just go out and say that. Fabula, I think it's Fabula Ultima, won the Silver Ennie for Best Game Product and the Gold Ennie for Game of the Year at Gen Con, and they released a new supplement like a couple weeks after Gen Con, which is really good, and I bought immediately. There's lots of really, really good RPG stuff going on. Humble Bundle has had a couple different RPG things. Bundle of Holding has like 4 different RPG things that I want to pick up. It is a great time to be an RPG fan. So,
yeah, Queen by Midnight released August 22nd.
wow, it's been out for a little bit.
Yeah,
I have such a love hate relationship with board games because I love them, but because all of my friends live across the country, I can never
yeah.
play them unless they create a digital version. Like I have the digital version of Small World. I have the digital version of what's the train game?
Ticket to Ride.
Ticket to Ride. Yeah, I've got that and all its expansions because they play almost identically to how you play them. The big difference being you can't actually flip the table online. If you play them in
And the
Tabletop
winner gets a
Simulator,
watch.
you can.
Smash.
Yeah, it's a great time to be a tabletop fanatic. There's so many good stuff. All right. Anything? Speaking. Uh, Speaking of Fendover and below, I just got a notification that my physical copy has been shipped while I was live, so that's fun. Yeah. Otherwise, you guys wanna Play some Dungeons and or Dragons?
Eh.
Okay. Then it's time for us to return to the legend of the Three Kingdoms. The party has conquered two of the four mighty generals of the Dark Lord. After battling their way through Demise Tower, discovering the strange magics that caused the layout to randomly change, the party took all of the captives that had been held there and brought them back to Scornmote. On the way out, though, Relwyn, feeling conflicted and angry and many other emotions about what had been happening recently, returned to the tower and cried out in anguish, in anger, and was blessed with a new surcoat, proclaiming his devotion to the Dark Lady. After dealing with this new revelation, they eventually made it back to Scornmote, spoke with the sheriff, who mentioned that Scornmote probably wouldn't be a bad place for a resistance to form. While yes, there was a camp hidden in the forests north of Middenwell, that camp was forced to be mobile to avoid detection, and invariably had to remain relatively small, where Scornmote has a rather extensive labyrinth beneath it, and already looks to be abandoned after the dragon attack. So the party agreed to contact the various members and move their resistance to Scornmote as they started to plan their next move. So, I believe when we ended last week, you guys, I don't know if you guys had actually made the decision, but you were discussing because you wanted to get to Klausgate, and I think eventually like Evanthorn, but in that
Like
general
I
direction.
don't know if we got that. I don't know if we got as far as Evan Thorne decision, but the agreement was Scornmote, Binwell, Klausgate, and to like somewhat blend in and like go with a
Yeah.
caravan.
Okay. So, um, getting to Middenwell, because of everything that had happened in Scorn mode, getting to Middenwell is actually significantly easier than it has been, because after the dragon attack and the takeover uh, by I'm drawing a blank on the name. Was it the Bloody Wolf?
Bloody Fang.
Bloody Fang. Thank you. Takeover by the Bloody Fang. A lot of trade had effectively stopped with Scornmote, and so the road itself is significantly less populated, and dragons in general, even if they only exist for a short amount of time, tend to scare a lot of these scarier beasts away because of their effectively apex predator status. So getting to Middenwell is actually a relatively short trip compared to what you guys kind of expected it to be. Only takes you about 4 days to get there. And it is almost to the point of being boring, uneventful. However, once you get to Middenwell, you notice that the city itself seems different than the last time you guys were here. The last time you guys were here, you were simply just passing through on your way to Scornmote. And I think you guys actually avoided the city, didn't you? because you didn't want
Mm,
to run into enemies you might have made when you made a house walk away. Anyone?
That would have been before I was there.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I thought we may have had some interaction there, but I don't think we were. I think we were just in and out of town.
Okay. So the last time you were here for any extended period of time was when you went into the house, and it was when you found the first of your tokens and the first of the things that eventually turned into the Blood Council. And now returning to it, even when you kind of passed through last time, there was still this kind of massive hole in the nobility section of the town because this house had just gotten up and wandered off. When you guys come back this time, you notice that that particular tract of land, while not fully developed anymore, has been kind of returned to a state where it doesn't kind of stick out as a sore thumb. Coming in from the southeast, you can't really see exactly what's been done to the land, but you can tell it's not kind of the smoldering waste that it used to be. And the rest of the city itself seems somber, but operational, I guess would be the best way to describe it. You don't see anyone running around, doing cartwheels or anything, but the town seems to be functioning. And probably one of the more interesting aspects to this entrance compared to any of the other times you've entered any towns recently is not only does no one seem to kind of notice you, the few people that you do interact with seem completely oblivious to who you are. You are effectively unknown in this town.
Hmm.
So, what would you like to do?
Do we need any supplies to head down to Cloud's Gate? Um, Probably need to ask around about a caravan traveling through the webwood.
I would imagine that at most.
Yeah. I guess Vala would um try to find out about a caravan heading
Sure.
south. Also trying to hear about any news coming from Ilmorn or any of the other cities.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and make me just a flat charisma check?
Hmm. Ooh, 10.
10. So, as you go around and finding out news from a town that you're relatively new to is something that, as the vigilante, you got very, very good because you had to know if people knew, if the local law enforcement knew who you were, if you needed to be careful, what kind of rumors were being spread about you. And so you kind of pride yourself in the fact that when you need to get information, you can get information. But as you're going through here, people are kind of so curt and short. Every time you ask a question, you will get 1 and 2 word answers constantly. You are eventually pointed towards a an outlet of the Teamsters Union that tends to kind of coordinate, or not union, but the Teamsters Guild. There we go. They don't have unions in D&D. They have guilds. The Teamsters Guild that tends to kind of regulate trade between the different cities. You notice that their headquarters has moved from the last time you were in Minwell. From they used to basically be based out of a stable that had effectively had a guild hall attached to it. It was at the very edge of the southern part of town. and now they actually have a guild hall in the center of town, one of the larger buildings that you don't quite remember being there, but it's possible it was a vacant building that you never thought about. Beyond that, however,
keeping my eyes out.
go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say I was keeping my eye out for house-sized footprints around the new buildings.
Yeah,
Just in case.
thus far, no house-sized footprints. Um, However, every other time you try to kind of nonchalantly go, yeah, man, it's a nice day we're having, or man, you know, the last time I was in Ilmorn, I heard this. What have you heard? And every single way you can get nothing. People, again, they don't seem to be like actively avoiding talking to you or anything like that. There doesn't seem to be any ill will. They just seem to be completely disinterested with any kind of conversation of news. And no matter what you try, even getting kind of blatant of, hey, what are the rumors out in Ilmorn? No idea. And that's it.
I'll turn to the others and say, "Man, I must be losing my touch. It's been so long since I've been able to use my skills. I'm just rusty."
Maybe it's also the nature of this place.
Maybe. Well, I did find the Teamsters Guild, so we could inquire there about when the next caravan is going to be heading out.
Jody, when I was probably passing through here relatively quickly when I was trying to meet up with these guys. Was this generally how it was when I was there, or is it?
No, the last time you were here was actually before they came back from Ilmorn, and because if I remember correctly, you met them up in Ilmorn, right? With
If that was where no, because
you met them before you guys fought the Major Domo, right?
Yes, because they were taken into custody, so it was Ilmorn, yes.
Yeah, so the last time you were here, the city itself was kind of recovering from what had just happened, which is these guys had gone into a house and caused so much ruckus that the house itself got up and ran away. And so the town itself, it's hard to use the word lively after such a kind of large amount of loss of life and everything, but they were buzzing about everything that was going on, and people could not wait to kind of talk your ear off about their various theories of what actually happened to the house and whether or not it was just a massive illusion to cover up that they're putting magic potions in the water and they're turning the frogs into tadpoles. Which I realize that frogs come from tadpoles, but I ran out of thoughts at that particular moment, turning the frogs into tesseracts. So it's a bit eerie with just how close-lipped everyone is around here. And what's probably even more bothering to you is the fact that you've been around people that don't want to talk to you before, many, many times.
These are survive.
Yeah. These are not people that have some kind of issue with you guys or are keeping tight-lipped because they don't want to talk to you or anything. They literally seem to have nothing to say and no interest in learning anything. And so there's no ill will. There's nothing.
Outside of the Teamsters, outside of the Teamsters Guild and like along the street, are there plants?
Good question. Why don't you make me? I'll give you a nature or perception, whichever you like better.
Which one do I like better? 18 perception.
Okay. So looking around, there are a few plants. Shrubbery planted in front of houses and things like that. For lack of a better term, they're very gray.
They're very gray.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of color. There you don't see any flowers or anything like that. It's mostly kind of things that would normally be green, but for whatever reason they've lost a lot of their color and they're just kind of very bland. Like someone's changed the contrast or someone's been messing with the contrast knob on the TV.
I'll look at Relvin and kind of gesture with my head. Is that color normal?
Unfortunately, Relwyn has stepped away for a brief moment. So
Ah.
while that's happening, Lillian, did you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, so I we were here.
Mm-hmm.
Did it? Did it? Did we go in the war and the owner was upset with us?
I think so. I'm slowly remembering the last time you were here. You guys didn't interact with much, but the town was kind of negative because of what had happened. And if I remember correctly, the economy had kind of collapsed because the nobility in general, after you got rid of the wealthiest person here, nobility in general had kind of
Yeah.
stopped investing in the town and it started looking for other places to go. And so the economy had kind of crashed. And they blamed you guys for that. Because the nobility and the Dark Lord blamed you for it as well, so.
Yeah, so I could go into the store that we were in last time
Mm-hmm.
to A, see what other supply might be available, and B, see if I get a similar reaction or this that I cut off everyone else.
Okay. So, going in, the first thing that you notice is the store owner that you were expecting to see is not there. The person that is there um, is a shorter to the point where behind the counter that they are, you can just barely see above like their collarbone and above. They seem to be doing something back there. They seem to be a fire genasi because their hair, like bits of it, will just catch on fire every so often and then go out. And as you come in, they just seem to be doing something behind the counter. As you come in, they suddenly get taller as they step onto some sort of stool or something, and they just kind of look at you expectantly.
What do you have for sale?
They just kind of point around.
What do I see?
Uh, Various like this is a kind of a general store, so you don't see any weapons or anything like that for sale here, but you do see various sets of rations, things like backpacks, ropes,
Um,
other kind of generic supply items that would be useful in a number of different situations. There's a few. There's a section that has kind of protective clothing, things like heavier waterproof cloaks, oil skins for protecting your weapons, and the things like that.
I I will get
Oh, there's the tent section over there.
yeah, Bella.
Surprisingly enough, no tents here. You think Vala probably emptied them out the last time she was here, and they just haven't been able to restock.
Alright, so I will just grab like um wait cigarettes,
Okay.
and I'll go pay for it. So what type of a universe someone else you a over you here for the day?
That'll be 1 silver, please.
I give it a 1 silver. See, how long have you been working here?
She takes the silver, uh, places it underneath the counter, picks, reaches underneath the counter and brings up what looks like uh, wrapping paper. Would you like that wrapped, sir? Ma'am?
Um,
Miss?
yeah, please.
She goes and she wraps up your rations. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know how to remember, but could I
Sure.
explain to me what's going on?
Sure. Go ahead and roll me an insight check.
Why do
Mm-hmm.
I
If you want, it'll give you different information. You can choose insight or arcana. They'll both give you different information.
If it helps you, if it helps you at all, I was planning on doing insight after you.
Alright, would I get evidence at all
Um,
because of feelings?
I'm gonna say in this particular instance, yeah, let's give you an advantage because if I'm thinking that your character would suspect what I think they suspect, then this would be something they're very familiar with.
Alright. And that would be an 18 or Canada.
Okay, so seeing people kind of bereft of emotions, this is not an uncommon thing for something like a vampire thrall, someone that is newly become enthralled, or there's a lot of different kind of mind control abilities that liches like to use that kind of subdue people into a very similar state, so that they're just easier to turn into whatever the necromancer or lich needs to use them for. So that immediately is kind of putting up alarm bells in the back of your head. And looking around, you try and do everything you can to figure out how a spell like this might be working. And as far as you can tell, you don't sense any sort of magic affecting the person. There's none of the telltale signs that they're somehow being dominated or subdued by some sort of like charm or enchantment style magic. Nothing that they're doing right now makes sense. They don't seem to be enthralled by anything like a vampire or even like incubi and succubi, where they also have this ability to kind of control people's emotions. None of the telltale signs are there of someone that would be afflicted by that. They just seem to be bereft of emotion.
Okay. I will walk over the store and take it for the party when I get
Okay.
back. Yeah.
While it was going on, Rowan, right after you left, Argenta had a question for you. So
Oh.
if you remember what that was, Argenta.
Yeah. She'll kind of point to the very few trees that are in the town and a lot of the shrubbery that people have planted outside their house and how they're very gray. And she's just asking if that's normal around here.
So I don't know if you were here when I was explaining it, but Argenta kind of looked around for any plant life, and
Is it
there's
was
no.
gray?
Yeah,
Last I
everything's
heard.
okay. So yeah, so she's just asking you, hey, is that normal?
I passed through here very quickly because I was trying to track
Oh.
these guys down.
Mhm.
Um,
Colors in Cruciatalia in general tend to be slightly more muted than the
it was
prime
constantly
material plane.
overcast and dreary, and
But these are not the greens that you are familiar with. So even to your eyes, which are used to seeing kind of dull colors, this is a new level of dull.
no, everything seems very less active here.
I will point out kind of one of the unique things about the plants is if Argenta hadn't pointed them out to you, you never would have even thought something was weird. Like it wasn't until someone pointed it out to you, like, yeah, they are. That is a weird color.
And there are animals around, right?
You
There's
guys have not
teamsters.
seen. You guys have not seen any non-domesticated animals.
Okay. She'll go to whatever you would say is the like biggest, oldest plant here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what am I facing?
For biggest oldest, probably kind of like a big oak tree in front of one of the buildings. Even that, even with it being quote unquote old, you probably, especially being a ranger, you would guess that this oak tree is probably not more than maybe like 40 or 50 years old. Like it's not a huge, massive, centuries old oak tree.
Okay. And I'll cast Speak with Plants.
Ooh, okay. Um, so as you kind of connect with this tree, you feel um have so question for you, has Argenta ever used this spell before, or is this the first time you're going to experience
She
it?
she just learned it.
So you just learned. Okay, so this is a new thing. Cool. So as you kind of focus on this tree, at first nothing happens. You're just kind of focusing on the tree, and you place your hand on it to get some sort of a connection with it. Because you cast the spell and nothing happens. Like, I must be doing something wrong. So you kind of place your hand on the tree and you focus. And the first thing that you notice, you can feel like the tree itself. You start noticing, you can feel how deep the roots go. You realize that the roots themselves for this particular tree are very, very shallow. Much more shallow than you think they should be for a tree so old and so large. Like enough force and this tree would just knock right over. And then as you're kind of focusing on it more, you can kind of feel almost a pulse within it. The actual kind of life force of the tree. And at first, it's just kind of a steady, almost a hum, not even a blip of a human pulse, just kind of a hum of life inside of it. You start noticing that the hum starts becoming a little bit louder and louder, and it starts to vary in pitch. It goes yeah. And you think the tree can speak to you now. What would you like to ask?
Um, why is everyone acting so strangely recently?
Man, what is strange? You're talking about what's weird to you may not be weird to me, baby. Could be anything.
Did did the status quo in town change within the recent months, weeks?
Man, status quo be changing every day, every minute, every hour. The only thing that's regular is us trees, baby. We here for the long haul. Even when everyone went away, even when everyone went to, oh, they went up and then they went down and they stayed down. And then the new people came. We're always here, baby. Always.
They went up where?
They went up there. They went up, as far up as you can go in the town. There used to be, oh, used to be a nasty piece of work. Looked like one of us, but definitely wasn't. Evil, angry thing. But then some cool cats that came into town, they told him to step off. You know what he did? Exactly that. He stepped off. And everyone was real mad for a little bit. And then they got more and more mad. And then they all just stopped being mad. They went up there, and then they went down. And they stayed down. They're still down there right now.
Down where?
Down up there. You go up there, you can see them. You might even be able to talk to them, though they ain't been talking too much. They seem. I think they forgot who they was. Because we trees, we know what it's like to be in the ground, to get as deep as you can, because that's what keeps you going. That's what keeps you here the entire time. But these folks, it looks like they're trying to become trees. They go and they go down and they try and spread out as much as they can, but they're not trees. They're not like us. They're not trying to draw the nutrients out of the ground. They're just staying there down, hoping, praying to become trees. Feel kind of bad for them, to be honest.
So they went up. They went up to where those people stepped off, to where that thing stepped off, and then they came down and they were different.
Yeah, no, they went up there and they went down into the ground. But they stayed up there in the ground. Never came back down. New people came in. Not quite as cool as the cool cats that was here before. But they're alright.
So these are different people.
Yeah, all came in. Oh, let's see. You know, it's weird. I've never really thought about, differentiation between different periods of time. I'm just always here. But yeah, I guess it's been. Well, it gets warm and then it gets cool. I guess that'll be one period, and it's probably been about 14, maybe 20 of those periods since the new people showed up.
Mm. Well, thank you for the talk. It's been very deep.
And that's what I've been trying to do my entire life. Just get as deep as possible. If you want to be deep, I could sense a little bit of nature in you. Just become a tree. And you don't have to worry about any of this stuff. You just sit there, go deep, and exist, man. It's great, baby. Gotta try it.
Sometime she'll tap the tree and start walking off.
You suddenly feel like you should be wearing sunglasses and listening to cool jazz.
I'll head over to the party and she'll say, it's been about 2 to 3 weeks. Essentially, what I learned was that everyone in the town got, from what we did when we made the nobles kind of fuck off, they all charged up to the noble district. Apparently, they stayed there and they're acting like trees, according to the tree. And these are new people.
They made like trees, like
He said
they made like a tree and left.
no, he said that they went underground and stayed underground. Or,
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
yeah. So, whatever happened, if we head to the noble district, we may learn.
it's nonchalantly, low key. go find, go look around up there. I'm thinking we go head up there.
Yeah.
I was wanting to do one thing, 'cause I said, like
Mhm.
I mentioned when Leanne was trying to decide what she was wanting to use for skills. I probably would have given some time and then also go into the general store and just to like stock up on general provisions so I can
Mhm.
keep doing my general thing on terms of like I'll get some the general type of dry goods I can cook with for them, but still basically make so I can still basically provide my end of things.
Roll me.
And I was intending to use insight to see if I can pick up the general
Sure. But,
vibe because they seem preoccupied, yet their
but
focus is elsewhere.
okay, so before you do that,
Okay.
roll me. I'll let you choose what skill you want to use for this, but whatever you think your character would use to find good produce. I don't know what skill I would have you use that for. Whether it's
Oh,
like,
I was just looking not necessarily for produce, but like things I can cook with,
well,
like
yeah,
on the go. So
absolutely. I'm just
okay,
pick a skill that you think Relwyn would use to find good ingredients. Whatever you think it is, whether you do it visually with perception, whether you use insight to kind of gauge what you feel about whether you use
probably insight.
intelligence.
I can
Okay,
see it being insight. Looking.
go ahead and roll me an insight check on the ingredients.
Okay, I am too drained to actually grab dice. That's how bad I feel. So roll the 2. Got 12.
12. Hey, 12 is still good. You don't want to cook with this. The ingredients here are not toxic in any way, shape, or form, but the quality in and of itself, if you added even the spices, if you added them to any of your meals, it would make them taste worse and be less nutritional.
How are the
Like,
dry goods?
the dry goods seem to be undersized. Like, you go look for beans. Beans are staple. You can get
Yeah,
beans. Do everything.
beans, rice,
The
lentils.
beans that you're looking at here, they seem the beans themselves are kind of thin and flat. They look like they might have either been harvested too early or were just grown in really nutrient lacking soil. You start looking at lentils, you're getting the same thing. The rice that you're looking at is kind of meager looking and even kind of almost kind of translucent. When you look at the individual grains, there's just not much to it. Looking over the various spices, they're just extremely weak. Like, you go and look at like the peppercorns. Peppercorns, incredibly simple, very easy to use. You crack them and you put them in a bunch of different things. You look at the peppercorns, they're somewhat brittle, which is strange for peppercorn because peppercorns are remarkably solid. And when you kind of smell them after breaking a couple of them open with your hands, which you've never done before, you just don't get the strong scent of pepper. You don't sneeze at all. Everything about it just seems weak. You go over and look at the salt, which is used for everything from curing to flavoring. Fun fact, I found out that apparently humans have been using salt to flavor their food since 6050 BC.
Hmm?
So I thought that was interesting. Anyway, look at the salt. The salt has barely any flavor to it. Like, you take just a little bit and it doesn't. I mean, you can tell it's salt, but it's incredibly bland. Like, you'd have to add 3 times as much to a meal to get the same flavor you would normally do. Everything in here seems to be grown from poor soil or was harvested too early or harvested incorrectly. Everything.
I imagine that was something that Roland would definitely remember there being a difference.
Yes, you have never seen such a poor stock.
Across the board. I'm sure they have like potatoes, the hardiest of all things. They're like the sad kind of like
Yeah, they
they're
they
not
they have
they're
like
like
Yukon. They have like Yukon golds, or their side is of fingerlings, and
a little bit wrinkly.
yeah, and they just everything about it just doesn't look appetizing. You look at like because it's almost like perpetually autumn here. You look for things like gourds and yams and things like that, and they're wrinkled and
Onions.
old. Onions that have a bigger beard than Elminster, and just everything here just looks not toxic. Like you could eat all of this stuff, but you wouldn't want to.
Now, what would I notice that about the rat that I bought?
Rations in and of themselves, like iron rations in and of themselves, are already kind of flavor bereft.
Yeah.
So I would say if you ate it, you probably would notice it tastes weird. But since you just purchased it, it looks like an iron rash.
I think Rowan might make a comment to the person, not necessarily to be, not to like be that customer, but basically making the inquiry to them and saying like, I think obviously they would know this,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like, but he would definitely make the inquiry, seeing because again they seemed like their focus was elsewhere, and then their attention was turned to us, and I definitely made the concept like in regards to such strange, so little, uh I hate to say quality lacking, but it seems like there recently been a blight on the town in regards to the crops?
The beans are 2 pounds for a copper. The potatoes are 4 for a copper. Rice, 4 pounds for a copper.
So what is, so giving that reaction, what is Relwyn's insight picking up in regards to?
Go ahead and give me another insight check.
It'll be 28.
Um, Probably the most disturbing thing about this interaction is the fact that you can't tell. Nothing seems wrong here, and everything in your brain is telling you that something is very, very wrong. This is not how people act. But looking over everything you can think of, you're not getting like a gut feeling of this person's lying to me, this person is being manipulated. Nothing. You're getting literally nothing from this person. There's nothing that's indicating any sort of peril. There's nothing that seems to be kind of controlling them. Like your first thought is this sounds like programmed responses. Which, if you were to use something like, I can't remember what the spell's called. I think it's programmed illusion or something similar to that. You can create an illusion that actually moves and actually interacts with the people. Your first thought is, well, maybe this is some sort of magic powered something that is just giving programmed responses or something. But no, they're a real life human being. And they don't seem forced to say anything. You don't see, because you've dealt with people that have been under compulsions for various things.
Literally dealt with various different versions of compulsions via
Yeah.
pins or
Yeah,
geish.
there's always something unsettling about someone that is being compelled to do something because it's not interacting with their actual thought process and choice process. Like they're not making any choices, they're being run by someone else, and so the expressions are different, the word choice is different, the way that they move is different because they're not actually using their own brain, they're using someone else's. None of that is happening here. This woman seems to be perfectly in control of her faculties. She simply doesn't seem to care what you're asking about, and is
a
giving
complete a complete lack of interest
yeah. She's
on almost all level.
yeah. There's just nothing to her.
Now that I've taken her in, does she seem less, I should say, less colorful, more muted, like maybe more pallor?
I wouldn't say she physically, like her skin doesn't seem any lighter or darker than you think it should be. Being a fire genasi, she does have kind of a deep, um, kind of a burnt wood, like a not really burnt. Like I'm trying to think of the color, like a deep cherry wood kind of color hue to her skin. Um, and it doesn't seem like she doesn't look pale, and she doesn't look like overly um, like there's too much blood, like she's blushing or anything like that. Um, the colors in the just like everything in here does have kind of a blah feeling to it, but nothing that would make her look unhealthy. Let's say that her clothing doesn't look drained of color like you saw in Demise Tower. It's just boring
Yeah.
colors. And her skin doesn't look drained of color or anything like that. It seems like she has actively chosen to make
The
choices.
bare minimum of effort to put together.
Yeah. There's been nothing done to her appearance to, like, no makeup or any sort of changes to her appearance to make her look more appealing or more alive or anything. Um, if you've ever seen someone that tends to wear a lot of makeup and then doesn't wear makeup, like that kind of strange look where you're like, something's wrong, but I don't know what it is. Where everything just feels less muted because nothing is accentuated. Same basic principle.
Well, thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
She just blinks at you.
Is that awkward? Leave. Because you're expecting an interaction and they don't say it, and you're like,
Okay. You kind of stick your head. Were you gonna? I thought you might have. Maybe you were. No. Okay. I'll just. So Rowan comes back without. Because I would assume you would have told him, "Hey, I'm just going to pick up some food supplies." You see him come out with nothing, which I would assume upsets at least a few of you because the stuff that he cooks is good.
we can still make do with what we find and what we have on us.
Um,
This-
Rowan, I'm sorry. I know. Are you punishing us? Because
I still have enough to like. We still have enough to make do, and along with what we find along the way, if we have to.
I know.
It's
I apologize for comments that I've made about you not cooking enough.
Vala. I know this is shocking, so let me explain this to you. This isn't about you. The literal
You're
salt.
teaching me humility. I understand.
The literal salt here is lacking. The most staple of foods here would be barely nourishing for what they should be. In almost every fashion, life seems to be lacking here in both quality and substance, as well as interaction.
Yeah. Um, I'm assuming you know that older were not in the middle. We
Mostly, it was just the like seemed to be completely bereft of interest, activity. This is a
yeah.
staunch difference from when I was here last, but I was here very quickly. But
Well,
Yes.
apparently the populace is a 100% replacement according to the oldest tree in town, so
I mean, that makes sense. The world is different than last time we were here.
and it's
Um,
only been the tree said, I mean, it didn't know what days were, but it knew what like day and night cycles were, and it
yeah.
said 14 to 20 of those. So that's why I said 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but these people are really the eye is right there, the other circle influence, but it
It actually seems quite. It actually seems quite the opposite. There seems to be zero compulsion.
Hmm.
There,
yeah, I mean, the behaving in a manner that would be consistent with something like a vampire swallow. Something, but yeah, there's something missing.
You don't think your friends set up shop here, do you?
which one?
Your vampire friends.
No.
Mm,
I reached out to the Blood Council
Yeah,
before to let them know
yeah,
existence
they're
of
on
it.
their way to Scornmote.
Yeah, this
Is
doesn't feel
that,
like their handiwork.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them, but we only contacted them, what, day ago, 2 days ago?
Well, you guys were on the road
Look,
for about 4 days, so about 4 or 5 days ago.
Alright,
I know.
Well, I
I know.
do also remember there were other vampires we had encountered as well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, the Blood Council. They have a certain. They don't like things muted like this. Yes, they want obedience, but uh, not like this. This doesn't feel like them. Vala is also going to pull out her lute and start playing counter charm,
Okay.
Mm.
just as we're walking.
Um,
gray
so
skies are gonna clear up.
you said that the only animals I've seen are domesticated. Like, what exactly have we been seeing?
Uh, Horses and mules mostly, and they're mostly around uh, like the stables for to be used for caravans and things like that. You haven't really seen um, any like bovine livestock or anything like that. Like the only animals that you've seen thus far have been beasts of burden. I guess I'll put
Okay.
it that way.
The two things we could do. One, we could investigate the hill that your tree indicated. Interesting topics.
Well, I
The other would actually be if we seek out any caravans that have recently been here and are waiting to leave, possibly, and see if they've picked up any additional information.
well, I'm sure we're aware of where they went up, and the only place that they could go down was where the tree up, or not the tree, but where the house up and left. There's no birds like flying over the town, Jody.
Not that you can see. You also don't see any birds in the trees or anything like that.
All right.
We can. Would you like to lead on, Lorax? I
Sure.
presume you're the one who speaks for the trees.
I'll lead the way up to the noble district where we had a house up and leave on us.
I'm the Lorax. I speak for the trees.
And they're pissed.
Um.
All right.
So as you guys go up there, you again kind of you every so often you'll see members of the Sissa City kind of wandering around, living their lives again, mostly emotionless, not seeming to be in any pain or anything. They just seem to be doing their jobs.
Hmm.
when you finally get up to where the house used to be, the first thing that you notice is the giant hole that used to be there, that looked into kind of the arena that they had built underneath it. Not only seems to be filled, but you can see the entire property has actually been expanded pretty far. And you see rows upon rows of headstones.
There they are. I'll
Perhaps we need less of a speaker for the trees and more of a speaker for the dead.
I'll read them briefly to see if they've died around the same time.
Remind me how that ability works.
Which one?
You said you're gonna do the reading thing, right? Where you...
Oh no, I'm just seeing if there's writing on the headstones.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the headstones themselves don't give dates, but other than a lack of dates, which again is kind of weird for headstones, it's not completely outside of the question, especially for older headstones. But you don't, like, every single one of these headstones, none of them has a date on it, but everything else is there, names, like little epitaphs and things like that. Just no dates for any of them.
I mean, does the ground look like these are relatively new?
It's the other thing. These don't look like fresh graves. The ground isn't disturbed or anything. If they are, if the graves themselves are, weeks old, it's possible that, if someone like actively went to the effort of disguising the graves, you might be able to get rid of that kind of fresh grave, freshly moved dirt look in a few weeks. But it would take someone that has a pretty good understanding of what graves actually look like. Like, a lot of people don't, because they don't go to graveyards and stuff like that, a lot of people don't know what an actual grave looks like. And the stuff that you would kind of expect to be there.
Hang on a second, guys. I wanna try something real quick. So just take a minute.
Fire!
And I will pull out some components. I'm going to cast a 6th level spell.
I didn't
Called
think
True
those
Seeing.
exist.
I know. This is weird, fruity magic. But I'm gonna cast True Seeing.
Okay. Give me a second here.
Yep. I know this is unexpected.
Yeah, I wasn't quite expecting True Seeing to show up.
There's any illusions, any invisibility?
I'm looking
I
up
get
the spell
to-
right now to see exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So when
spell
creature
gives
shows
ability
these
creature-
for the duration, the creature has true sight, notices secret doors hidden by magic, and can see into the ethereal plane, all out to a range of 20.
Oh. You beat me to it. I was going to use my side.
So, looking around, you don't see any. You don't see any magical doors or anything hidden by magic. You don't see any illusions. Yeah, being able to see into the ethereal plane doesn't allow you to see through solid matter. So, yeah, as far as you can tell, there's nothing weird about this.
I was going to do a couple things. Like, one, I think it's just more of a confirmation. Rowan would. This is literally his domain. He would actually inspect one of the graves, and he would inspect, like, he would just like literally like touch the dirt, probably examining it. And I would imagine he would, if I'm getting the feel, I would imagine it's like there's a difference between dirt and like just garbage dirt. Like it's like bad dirt's like almost silty with no
Mm-hmm.
like the quality would be very very poor.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine.
Um, make me a nature check.
Would I have advantage of this in regards to being graves?
Sure, I'll give you advantage. That makes sense to me.
Oh, I was gonna say it right now, but
I mean, you can. He doesn't get double advantage, but
yeah.
That'll be 19.
19. Okay. Um, as you kind of just take little handfuls of the dirt from outside the graveyard, I guess I should ask you, where are you going to? Because you are going
grave.
to need to pick up. So you're actually going to go up to a grave.
Do a great time on like
Not like,
like
going
just
in, but going up to where a grave and just picking up a little bit of the dirt on it.
come on, me ma, I want to have a chat with you.
Hey there, baby. Y'all need to wake up now. As you kind of reach in and you get a little handful of dirt, the first
Doing
thing
that
that
thing
you
from
notice,
Gladiator.
yeah, first thing that you notice, this is incredibly nutrient, concentrated, almost fertilizer level soil.
Oh, the opposite was expecting.
Yeah, this is kind of looking through it. This, if you were to grow plants in soil like this, you would get, potatoes the size of melons, and pumpkins that you can ride around in. This is
So I would imagine there would be a clear delineation between this and between these graves
well.
and
No,
then
the weird thing about it is, until you actually took the soil out, the top of the soil does not look like this is good soil. It looks like the rest of everything here. It just looks dull. But as soon as you get just past literally the first
guacamole scraping the
eight,
top off.
yeah, there's a little crust on the top, and then as soon as you get under it, it's amazingly rich soil.
I'm amazed something's not growing here.
Yeah, and I guess that would be the other thing as you notice is weeds should be going crazy here.
Or the bare minimum, like wildflowers of some type, something.
Yeah.
Grass.
Literally anything that could grow here should be growing here like nuts.
Well, which is going to lead to, Roman's going to definitely comment on that, and then his second thing, and I'll put it again in chat, he's going to use his eyes of the grave. He's looking around. And he already knows that things are really fucky right now with the dead and how things not being allowed to being passed on.
So
And how things are going on around here.
As you look around, your stomach kind of turns in knots a little bit. Because as you look down, if there was undead here, like the first thing that you think you would see is just tons of undead energy and going, whoa, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There isn't a single undead creature anywhere. But this area is suffused with necromantic magic. And there are bodies, as far as you can tell. None of them are undead.
It's like they're buried in like Chernobyl dirt.
Well, the school of magic that is necromancy gets a real bad rep because of spells like Raise Dead and other things like that.
Old school D&D healing used to be necromancy.
I believe isn't or is it evocation now? Because I
guess-
thought like Cure
I
was
guess
still a necromancy spell.
No, resurrection spells like revivify or necromancy, but I believe curing spells are evocation.
Evocation. Okay, so they changed. Okay, so
Yeah.
Slightly changes the things. So yeah, looking around, you can.
But
I guess there
FYI,
wouldn't
false
be
light is
any.
necromancy.
Yeah. So I guess there wouldn't be any necromantic energy around. But
Oh,
there's
okay.
obviously something. Yeah, you don't see any dead around. Um, but something is definitely going on here.
But eyes of the grave. There's literally like I don't see
There's
anything.
not a single undead around you.
Okay, yeah.
Relwyn, I'll defer to you. I can exhume the dirt, or I can take a quick peek.
In regards to take a quick peek, what do you mean?
Sink into the ethereal plane,
Yeah.
go down 15 feet, come back up.
With someone?
I'd be on my own.
No, I mean, when you're sinking down. What are you gonna do?
See what's under there.
I'm not sure if you want to do that. It's very. This is incredibly strange. Unless you think you get greater insight. I can tell you, if there was ever to be undead, you would think it would be here. It's almost the exact opposite.
I mean,
Mm.
your, she just kind of gestures to your whole garb now. I don't want to exhume a grave unless you approve of it. So
If you're intentionally bringing someone up, are you going to bring a body up, or are you bringing a casket up?
I'd be removing the dirt.
You're removing the dirt.
Yes. I can. She kind of looks around to another section of dirt, Jody,
Mm-hmm.
and just casts move earth, but she's only gonna move like a few inches of
Oh,
dirt
just
and
Oh.
just kind of.
Oh, you can just do that. I was just like, are you just? I was afraid you were gonna like sink into the ground and come up with someone's grandmother, and I was
Oh no.
no, okay,
No,
this is
I
Uh,
see what you
yeah.
are either doing what everything or do we want?
If you can be respectful while you move the earth and like bring someone up, this is literally my thing. I
Yeah,
would
all
like
right.
I we can be respectful here.
Ar-
yeah,
I mean,
me too.
as long
Argent.
as long as I don't see like someone go "Pee!" and someone shoot up in the air
Ar-
like whack-a-mole.
Pull.
Argento will go to like a middle grave so that
Mm-hmm.
she's not like on the street when she does this,
Mm-hmm.
and then cast move earth and move, a 5 foot square block of earth to the side.
Okay.
While doing that, Rowan will be respectful and he'll actually he'll give some presiding over
Okay.
like to show respect.
So as you dig down the requisite amount of distance, generally 6 foot, the first thing that you notice, there is no coffin down here. You go a little bit further, you do see clothing of an individual, but they seem to have been buried without a coffin.
They're not even wrapped.
No wrapping, no nothing. They are just down there.
There's bones or a
Bones,
corpse.
skin, and as you look closer, the skin is not gray and decaying like you would expect it to be.
Are they breathing?
You're a little bit too far away to see if that's happening. The corpse or whatever it is, the body is face down, so you can't really tell. Like you're not seeing air coming out or anything, because if it was, it would be down. And from where you're sitting, you don't see the chest or the back moving much at all. But again, they're at the bottom of a 6 foot deep hole. So
Yeah.
So
Are-
immediately Rowan's thinking like below the surface of here, considering how, for lack of a descriptor, lush the dirt is, this person, even in a quick reference of time, they should be well on the way into returning to the earth.
Let me go down, and Argenta will just hop in.
You could also like move Earth, and like you could also hypothetically raise them if you wanted to do it that way. Rowan actually would point that out. So if you like, if you want to
You
like,
don't
if
want
you
to
want,
jump into
if
the
you
6 foot deep hole with the thing that we don't know what it is.
Here, I'll Earthbender them out.
I was about to say, actually, that kind of seems like an Argenta thing to do, grabbing daggers
that's
from
literally
other
what I was worried you
planes.
were going to do. I thought you were like,
I'll Earthbender them out.
Okay. So, for whatever reason, we use the movie version of earthbending, so Argenta has to do this extremely complicated movement that has all these different steps, and they move like an inch, and then does it again. YMCA. Shit, I just pulled something in my arm. Ow.
Oh,
Oh no.
My bones don't like me much. So you do bring the body out. And as you kind of go and try and drop it on the ground next to it, the body moves and lands on its feet and looks up at you, and you can see the skin is almost baby-like in just how kind of full of life it looks like. Like the skin is.
oh, I'm sorry, this
completely
person's
clear.
standing.
Yes, they have just stood. And they are looking at Argenta and seem they have an expression of severe anger in their eyes. And I would like all of you guys to roll for initiative.
oh, God.
Why did you disturb the greatest sleep of my life?
Yeah.
That therapeutic mattress.
I'm,
You can take inspiration for that. I like that. Let me hit the red button.
I'm just
here.
imagining like Evil Dead, where it's camera tilts back and it's just like a messed up demon face with white
Deadite.
eyes. Deadite.
They look incredibly healthy.
Hungarian demon.
Rowan, what you got for me?
Oh, I so used to this. Rowan's got a 19.
19. Val?
9.
Argenta?
21.
21. Liliane? All right. So we're going to start off with Argenta. As you're sitting there, this creature kind of gets up. The first thing that you notice is, again, it looks pissed. You can see it balling its fist and seem to be getting ready to rush at you. And as soon as you kind of get into a fighting stance, you watch as the ground explodes. You see 6 other bodies looking incredibly healthy kind of climb their way out and get ready to fight. What would you like to do, Argenta?
Alright. I mean, these seem like humans-ish. Well, humanoids.
Humanoids. Various races. The one that you're looking at right now is, in fact, a human. But there's elves. There's a dwarf. There's
I
another
guess.
genasi. This one an earth genasi.
Oh,
Which just feels kind of, the fact that they were buried in earth just feels like kind of adding insult to injury.
I will rage,
Okay.
and I'm gonna take 2 punches at them.
All right. Go for it. Why don't you make me some attack rolls?
21.
Yeah, definitely hits. Go ahead and roll the damage.
Well, it's a punch, so it's gonna do 6 damage,
Okay.
and then does a 17 hit,
Definitely. Go ahead and roll damage again.
another 6.
All right. So as you come up and like hit him twice, again, punching the flesh feels really weird to you because it's incredibly soft and supple and just extremely healthy. It's like punching a baby, and it's the weirdest kind of just gross feeling you've ever had of, attacking something that is so healthy and vibrant and full of little life. And as you hit it twice, it just looks at you with this like 1,000-yard long stare, and seems to be almost offended that you hit it.
Hmm.
Anything else you want to do with your turn?
No.
Cool. So 2 of the 7 creatures. I'm gonna make some rolling. I'm gonna make some rolling. I'm gonna make some rolling.
Oh, they
First
popped up
one
and ready
is
to go.
Lillian. The first one is going to stare at you, and I need a wisdom saving throw.
Me.
Yep, Lillian, you.
Yeah.
8. As you look at it, this creature stares at you, and you feel all of your muscles lock. You are now paralyzed. And it runs right up to you, but doesn't have any actions left, so it ignores. It just stares at you for a little bit. The other one that also got a 21 on its initiative, Relwyn, I also need a wisdom saving throw from you.
Oh. 11.
As the creature stares at you, you again feel this kind of overwhelming fear almost, and you feel your muscles start to lock up. You are also now paralyzed as the creature runs directly up to you.
And did they just touch me, or was it like just an aura?
He just looked at you, and the look itself somehow caused your muscles to lock.
They're buried face down.
Yeah, they seem to. Their look specifically seems to not be something that's very nice. It's your turn. Unfortunately, you don't get another save at the end of your turn for this. So,
Oh, good.
and then it's Lillian's turn, which doesn't really do anything, because again, you are, as said before, paralyzed. And then the creature that you punched, Argenta, looks at you and tries to kind of stare into your soul. So I need a wisdom save from you.
Natural 20.
Yeah, you really could care less about this guy staring at you. And he just kind of keeps staring at you thinking that something's going to change, and it doesn't. And he doesn't want to move away from you. But his 2 friends nearby have decided that they don't like you, and they're just going to come up and do exactly what you did to him, which is try to punch you in the face.
Right.
That would be a nat 1. Okay, can we get rid of the fiery dice? Okay. I'm going to roll my dice manually because rolling them in D&D Beyond makes the dice fire. Like, you can hear the fire, and it's very loud. So, first attack is a nat 1. Second attack is a 17 versus AC.
That misses.
Misses. So, the first guy comes up, and he takes this swing at you, and you just kind of... And he comes back, and he tries to swing at you again, and you just... The second creature comes directly at you, going for 2 more swings. 16 versus AC.
Misses.
And 24 versus AC.
That will hit.
All right, so this creature comes up and swings once, and you kind of dodge out of the way. But he's so fast, you don't quite catch the other fist as it comes, and it smacks into your face, doing 11 points of bludgeoning damage.
Alright, so 5.
And you also notice that the one that you attacked, he's got some blemishes on his face, and you watch as the blemishes just kind of fade away.
Hmm.
Vala! There are two of these creatures that seem to have not taken a liking to anyone as of just yet. There's three that really like Vala, and then one each on Argenta and... three that seem to really like Argenta, and then there's one each on Relwyn and Liliang.
Okay. I am going to do the warlock thing and cast Eldritch Blast.
Cool. Do you have a particular target you'd
and-
like to hit with it?
Well, apparently I now have 4 of them. So I'd like to send 2 against the one on Relwyn and 2 against the one on Lilian.
Okay. Oh shit, you're that level. That's fun. Cool. Make me some attack rolls.
All right. So first on the 2 against the one on Relwyn. That's a 28 to hit
Definitely hits.
and a 30
Jesus
to hit.
Christ.
That one misses.
Damn.
Yeah, they're both gonna hit.
So the first one does 4 points of damage.
Okay.
Second one does 7.
So 11 total, right?
11 total.
All right.
I don't know if they have to make concentration checks.
No, there's no concentration built into that particular
Got
thing.
it. Okay.
Cool idea, though. And then go ahead and
Uh,
make your other attack rolls.
That's a 24 to hit
Oh yeah. You almost hit
and
twice.
a 25.
Yeah.
Man, only they could actually do damage. There's a total of 6 points of damage.
So, you guys watch as Vala kind of conjures, and you watch these 4 bolts of energy fly out, and 2 hit the ones in front of you, Rowan, that you can't break eye contact from, and 2 hit the one in front of you, Liliane, that again you can't break eye contact from. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
I will use a bonus action to inspire Relwyn.
Okay. So, Rowan, you start feeling kind of the bardic energy infusing your body, and you feel inspired magically. As it happens, there are 2 other creatures that are immediately turned towards Vala, and they both just give you this death stare. I need 2 wisdom saving throws.
This isn't against being charmed, correct?
It is not a charm effect.
All right, I'm going to use inspiration on the first of these.
Oh,
Okay.
is there any? I'm sorry, I always forget the thing. I should have been asking. Someone a paladin, and do we get an aura effect?
I don't think anyone's a high enough level.
Yeah,
paladin.
Okay.
So the first one is a 19,
19 makes the save. Second one,
and then I don't get to roll with advantage on this one. That's a 16.
16. You make it. So these 2 creatures just stare into your soul. You feel your muscles start to kind of knit together, and you start realizing that you're losing the use of your limbs. And you immediately feel this sense of panic as your body begins to kind of shut down, and you go, no, and you kind of break it out, and both of these creatures run directly up to you, and are out of action, so they're not going to do anything else. Back to the top of the order, Argenta, you have 3 friends. That seem
I
to
do.
be very happy to see you.
How separated are the creatures that are targeting Relwyn, Liliane, and Vala? Like, are they all relatively packed together?
I would say you guys are probably all within about like 10-ish feet of each other anyways. So, I I would say the ones that are targeting Relwyn and Liliane are probably within about 10 feet of each other. The ones that are targeting Vala would be 10 feet away from that group, but right next to each other because they're both next to Vala. Does that make sense? Then the three next
Yeah.
to you are all right next to each other.
Would there be like, so if the two are within 10 feet of each other, that means that there is like a spot between them where if I was standing in that spot, I could hit both of them.
Um, with a regular melee attack, yeah, if there's 10 feet of space in between the two, you would not be able to stand in a spot where you could hit both of them with a melee attack because when you would be right next to one of them,
Okay, so
you'd be
there's
more
10
than 5
feet.
feet.
There's 10 feet between them. Got it.
Yes.
Then in that case, when I water transition, all three next to me have to make strength saves.
Absolutely. They are very well known. Actually, they have decent strength. I'm impressed. What am I? What's my DC?
DC 18.
Well, I'm going to go on the assumption that a 9 doesn't beat that. And a nat 1 doesn't beat it either. I've rolled a 2, a 1, and an 8, which turns into 15. What was the DC?
18.
18. All three of them fail.
Okay, so the three that were next to me are now all restrained in ice.
Okay.
And I teleport myself next to the one by Lillian.
Okay. So you guys watch as Argenta, you see kind of water start to kind of drip from his cloak and her cloak, and you watch as she wraps herself in it, and there's this kind of burst of cold water, and you watch as all three of the creatures next to her are just covered in ice and are completely frozen in place, and then she kind of winks into existence next to Liliane.
First attack is going to be to grapple that one.
Okay. Go ahead and make me strength athletics check. Yeah, I don't.
I am rage.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
really see
raging,
them making this. So.
I apologize. 30.
I mean, 12 and 30. If you really think about like what numbers really are in hexadecimal, yeah, I mean, no contest.
I will drag it in the grapple like 10 feet away from Lillian.
Okay. It seems less than pleased.
And then I will try and stab it with my dagger.
Go for it. Make me another attack.
Why not? 17.
17. Definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
That's 14 damage. It's a mix of cold and piercing.
Works for me. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
Nope.
All right. It's not really going to do much better here. It's going to start its turn by trying to break the grapple.
All right.
That's a lot better than the last time. That's a 21. Roll low.
26.
26. The absolute value of 21. Yeah, no. You watch as this creature, as you drag it away, despite the fact that you grappled it and kind of pull it, it seems completely uninterested in you. As it sits there and it struggles against you, you watch as even if you try to turn it towards you, it is hyper fixated on Liliane and will not stop trying to move against it. Yeah, there's nothing else it can do. Yeah, that's the end of its turn. You do watch as some of the damage you did with the knife seems to just kind of fade away, and you watch as some of the wounds start to kind of knit themselves.
I'll just kind of yell back, "They're healing."
And that ends its turn. The one that's in front of Rowan, however, is just going to take 2 swings at Rowan. The first one's going to be made with advantage.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Wow, that is incredibly impressive. So I got an 11 with advantage.
Go.
So the second one also gets advantage because the first
I
one
figured,
didn't do
yeah.
anything.
I mean, I'm paralyzed, so yeah.
That's much better. Does a 25 hit you?
Yes.
Okay, so you take.
Oh, quick question: would we all have gotten the 5 temporary hit points from
Yes, you all.
throwing his drop? Okay.
I assume after a long rest, you
Well, it
will
would be 6
obviously
now.
need to remind everybody, but I assume that every morning that you guys start off with a meal from Rowan. So,
Oh, okay.
so it's 20.
It'd be 6 now because he's leveled up.
You take 46 points of bludgeoning damage as it hits you and auto crits because of the paralysis. And as this creature punches you in the stomach, you suddenly feel all of your muscles start working again. And the sheer amount of pain kind of flowing through your body as the creature comes back, you look into its eyes and you are terrified of it. You are frightened, if you can be frightened, of the creature for the next minute.
Yes. Question: if I'm immediately unlocked from it doing damage to me, do I get a reaction?
The paralysis ends.
It sounds like it ends when I took damage.
Yeah, so on a failure, the target is paralyzed until the revenant deals damage to it. So if a trigger is triggered, if the reaction you want to take is triggered on dealing damage, then I'll say yeah, you can take a reaction. It
Hellish
happens
Rebuke.
immediately after the damage. There's a save associated with that.
Yes.
What is it?
And let me look that up because I have to go to.
Doesn't matter. I rolled a nat 1 again. I have rolled 3 nat 1s in the past 10 minutes. So whatever the save is, it's not high enough. Whatever it is, it has failed it. Roll your damage.
Well, not bad. So in total, there'll be 19.
19.
19 fire.
So fire damage. So you watched as it was getting closer. You watched as the damage from the Eldritch Blast that had hit it previously just kind of faded away. And it gets closer and closer to you. It hits you with that punch. And as soon as you get that, you're terrified of it. But you instantly feel the rebuke coming from inside of you. And you kind of blast it with this fiery blast. And you watch as the skin gets kind of charred a little bit. It still looks in remarkably good shape, but it definitely took that. And it seems that whatever regenerative effect did not affect that because it happens at the beginning of the turn. That actually brings us to Rowan. Oh, and Liliane, after the creature tries to get away from Argenta, it seems you feel the paralysis fade from you as well, but you are also have the frightened condition against this particular creature. If you are able to be frightened,
Do I get a save again?
at the end of your turn, you just when the paralysis ends, you are automatically frightened, and then at the end of your turn, you can save out of it.
Oh, alright.
So, Relwyn, we're going to start with you. It's your turn. You are frightened of this cuckoo creature.
Okay, but being under frightened, it doesn't make me run away.
No, the frightened condition,
Yeah.
effectively, you can't move
'cause I'm
closer
looking
to it
that up.
willingly.
Yeah.
And you have disadvantage on most things, as long as you can still see it. So attack rolls, I think saving throws as well, if I remember correctly. I can look up. I have the frightened condition right here.
It says attack rolls and ability checks.
Yeah, attack rolls and ability checks, so not saving throws, but
Yeah.
so yes. That being said,
The
this
eyes.
creature's right in front of you and looks terrifying.
The eyes. They were buried face down. They were buried face down. And how many are like within my field of view? If I can.
There's a grand total of 7 of them on the battlefield right now.
Second here. Okay, other ability. Area. So effectively, how many would you say I would be able to get in a 15-foot radius? So that would be a 30-foot diameter.
If you're willing to move away from this, you can get them all, because they're all relatively close. But because you're on the edge, you're going to basically not be able to get the ones that were next to Argenta before. If you move a little bit, you can get all of them, but that'll provoke an opportunity attack.
Will that get Argenta? Will that also encompass Argenta as well?
I am grappling one.
It'll encompass the entire party if you wanted to. I'm saying.
Well, I don't want to encompass the entire party. I'm looking to get just these things.
Describe to me what you want to do, and I'll tell you if it's possible. Like, what spell are you trying to use here?
Oh, I'm going to use darkness.
Because all of them are engaged in some way, except for those 3 that are on their own, because Argenta teleported away from them. If you cast darkness, you're going to get at least some of your party members in the darkness.
Okay, so I guess as a heads up, I think that's enough for them. I think Rowan is actually going to judge them as being capable enough. And with what's going on with them, Rowan's screaming out, they were buried face down, it's their eyes. He's going to cast, so if he can get, even if it means getting him too, but he's trying to get everyone in the sphere, so maybe he's the only one not in the sphere.
Okay, you can pull that off.
Encapsulated in darkness.
Okay, so for the rest of you guys, you hear Rowan kind of speak this out. You watch as he kind of presses the holy symbol that is now emblazoned on his chest. You watch as his chest just starts to glow this deep indigo, and suddenly you see this tiny pinprick of darkness that just massively, like Big Bang style, explodes, and suddenly everything around you is darkness. Relwyn, the darkness stops here. So the creature that just hit you is in the darkness. You are just outside of it.
Okay, so I didn't have to move to get everything.
Just to the point of
No, I was thinking that you were using like Turn Undead or something like that, or something that radiated from you. Since you can
because I
fine.
wasn't getting any.
Oh, you know for a fact that these aren't undead because your
these aren't undead.
Your eyes would have told you that.
Yeah, and so also we encountered some weird hoodoo last time we were here, with not undead, and we were like they were weird things. So, so if I got everyone there, and I said like boarding the eye, so I am convinced I am doing a favor because eye contact and what we know they're doing, and what I called out. I think for that's the only other thing I can do, because that was actually a tiefling thing I can do. He will. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, here's the other thing. So because I cast them all into darkness, am I still frightened?
You still have the frightened condition, but the bad things about frightened generally require you to be able to see the
Because it
target
said
that you're
line of
frightened of.
sight.
Yeah. So technically, you are quote unquote still frightened, but all the negative aspects of it aren't going to affect you. The reason you still have the frightened condition is if you do get to the point where you can see him again, it instantly goes back into effect. Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah, totally.
So right
Um,
now you're fine because you can't see them.
so if I know that, so that confirmed the other thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to juke about 15 feet to the side, and
Mm-hmm.
then I'm going to step into the darkness.
You're getting tricky. Cool. Okay. So you go in. Is that the end of your
Because if I
turn?
can't see them,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Is it the end of your turn?
yes.
Okay. You do get a wisdom save. Um,
Oh, for the fear effect. Okay.
yeah, for the fear effect.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'll help solve that. So that will be a 22.
Yeah, you are no longer frightened.
And the second thing, I'll play fair. Are they getting attack of opportunity on me, disadvantage because they're in the darkness?
Attack of opportunity requires you to be able to see.
No, them taking a swing at me because I went.
They have
He's
to be able to
saying they
see you.
can't see you.
They're in the
Oh,
darkness.
so
They're blinded. They can't see you.
oh, okay. Because normally, sometimes people get like attack of
Yeah,
opportunity,
no. They
disadvantage or
and
something.
in order for an attack of opportunity, rules is written. They have to be able to see the target.
Oh, okay.
So blindness or darkness is a great way to avoid attacks of
Oh,
opportunity.
okay.
Yeah, they have to know that you're moving effectively, and they have to know where you are when you're moving. So without that, they wouldn't be able to make an attack. So, yeah, you're
And
good.
just point of order.
Sure.
Vala still has true sight.
I was going
Yeah.
to mention that. Like,
I was thinking that too, but I didn't know necessarily if I knew you had true sight or if you.
so
I
Vala,
think I was probably like, oh, this stupid level 6 spell didn't do anything. Wait a minute. What?
this is awesome. I kind of find it interesting, exactly what it would be like with True Sight when the darkness spell goes off, because obviously you can tell that there's darkness, but it's not dark to you, and so basically somebody just like changed the color filter slightly. You're like, oh, darkness, non-darkness, darkness, non-darkness.
Just
Leon,
predator vision.
what do you want to do?
No,
Everything is
I
dark right now.
didn't. Huh?
Everything is dark right now because you are unfortunately in the sphere of darkness.
Did I try to find my
Yeah, you would have seen where the darkness spell started, so you've got a rough guesstimate of where the outside would be. You're probably within about 10 feet of where the edge of the darkness would be. So if you want to try and go there, you can. You are still terrified, but the thing that's terrifying you can't see. So that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to step over the darkness, and that would be my clue to make the save.
Okay, you don't want to use any actions or bonus actions? Because you're not paralyzed anymore, so you still have all your actions and bonus actions.
I mean, I can't see the creatures. All the other bonus actions to activate my dog.
Okay.
And I'll hold my action to attack if one of the creatures could vision.
Awesome. Cool, then go ahead and make another wisdom saving throw.
And I have a vision because I blood
Uh,
the soul.
oh, you have advantage against ending frightened conditions?
I have advantage on saving, rolling it, fighting,
Oh,
and being calm.
excellent. So yeah, definitely take your advantage. Normally you'd have disadvantage if you could see it, but you can't. So
But you don't sit here.
is that 16?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of shake off the fear that was tormenting you. Next up are the three revenants, or the three creatures. Just ignore the things that I say. The three creatures that Argenta froze, who now can't see anything and are restrained, and are going to try and break out because they have literally nothing else they can do. What's the DC again for breaking out of your ice, Argenta?
18.
18. Yeah, they're going to do super well. Well, one of them breaks out. That's nice. Second one doesn't make it. Third one doesn't make it. So Argenta, in the darkness, you hear this, and then I want you to just choose even or odd.
Odd.
You hear something kind of fumbling around in the darkness that seems to be almost completely lost as the creature attempts to run out of the darkness and runs in the wrong direction. So that's them. Vala, it should be very dark. Oh, and they all heal a little bit. Which doesn't matter because most of them didn't get hurt. So, yeah, Vala, you know it's supposed to be dark, but doesn't seem dark to you. You do still have those two creatures right next to you.
Cool.
And they're
I'm
looking.
gonna
They
back
seem to be
up.
looking where you used to be and are kind of blinking and trying to figure out why they can't see you.
I'm just gonna back up a little bit, look around.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get like a? I know these two are right next to each other. Is there any way I can get like a group of them in a 10-foot cylinder that doesn't contain any of the party members?
Let's say with the one that just ran in, let's say you can get 3 of them in
Perfect.
one 10-foot cylinder.
So I'm gonna use a bardic inspiration and pull out my flute of the piercing flame.
Okay.
Because I believe playing one of those songs is a bonus action, unless I'm mistaken.
I believe it activates the same way that you activate your bardic inspiration, so it should be
Yeah.
bonus.
As a bonus action, you can play one of the mystical songs. I'm going to play the Bordello of the Rebirth Embers,
Okay.
selecting myself as the caster. So the damage done by their next spell cast before the start of your next turn, the damage is either turned into fire or radiant. I'm going to make it all fire.
Of course.
And is increased by 2 of your bardic inspiration dice.
Okay.
So I'm going to cast at 5th level Flame Strike.
What is the save for that? Is it Dex?
It is Dex 19.
Oh, good. They have a +2 in Dex save throws, so that should be awesome.
Is
That's
she
a
targeting any of the restrained ones?
2. No.
Okay.
Good question, because his restraint gives him disadvantage, but no. That's another fail. Let's go for one more. So effectively what I'm having you do is the 2 that were trying to hit you and the 1 that broke out of his restraints are the ones that you're hitting right now. Because he just accidentally ran the wrong direction and perfectly lined up with a place that you wanted him to go.
Okay.
What was it? You said 19, right?
19.
Yeah, 17 doesn't make it. All 3 of them take full damage. Let's see what this turns into.
Okay.
Roll your rather
So-
adequate damage. And I think
believe
is
this
your
is-
bardic inspiration a D12 now?
I think we went over this last time. I think it's.
Oh, because you're not pure bard. Never mind.
I'm not pure bard. So I think that's so 8d6 plus 2d10. I think that's it. Well, plus I think I get to add 5 to 1 damage roll.
Sure. Just keep putting numbers in.
So that's
Jesus Christ.
51.
51. Okay.
I'm sorry, I just saw a bullshit number on the dice log.
If I have 46 plus 5. So.
Jesus Christ.
They seem to be upset by this. So, as you bring down this pillar of fire, probably the most unique thing about it is you can watch it radiate through the sky as it comes down. And then when it goes into the area of darkness, you can still see the spell effect, but none of the light of the fire and the radiant energy of it goes anywhere. So you just see this kind of pillar of muted fire explode on them. And they're less than pleased with you. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm just gonna,
And are you staying in the darkness or are you going to get out of it?
I will back up 15 feet, so I
Okay.
think that takes me out of the darkness.
All right. So, next, you watch as the creatures that you just hit, some of the burns that they receive start to fade away slightly. And I need you to choose even or odd twice. So, first one.
Even.
Okay. Second one.
Odd.
So you watch as one of the creatures runs, seems to randomly choose a direction and runs pretty close to you. It gets out of the darkness, sees where you are, and runs directly to you. The other one just runs around in the darkness for a little bit, not being able to find you. Takes some random swings at nothing and does nothing with its turn. But the one that was able to get out runs up to you, and he's going to try and punch you twice. So the first one's a nat 20.
Ooh.
And the second one is 26.
Question, I think, and sorry, I need a confirmation on this.
Mm-hmm.
It does say I have to see, so
I was
never
about to
mind.
say, I believe the skill you want to use requires sight. So
Yes.
So, the first one again is 8.
Just remember, you have 6 temporary hit points.
You take 46 points of bludgeoning from the first attack,
Oh.
and the second attack, you take 25 points of bludgeoning damage. As the first one comes, and he kind of hits you, and you feel your ribs crack underneath the incredible strength of this creature. And the second one, he kind of uppercuts you. You bite your lip. You're kind of bleeding a little bit. And again, he seems furious at you. This one is actually a dragonborn.
Oh. Shit. Well, you know what? 5th level spells were made to be. Let's do this one at 4th level. I'm gonna do a Hellish Rebuke.
Okay. It's a dex save, right?
It is a dex save.
I rolled a 5. Doesn't matter what your save is. Do your damage.
All right, so it'll be this plus an additional 5, so 30 fire damage.
The Dragonborn looks rough as it gets hit with another wave of fire. You can watch as some of its scales are starting to flake off. You can see the pristine-looking skin that it had is now bubbling with blisters and burns on it. You can see blood is starting to drip out of its mouth. You notice that the blood itself is bright red. Almost like a fire engine red.
Overly
More-
oxygenated.
Yeah, brighter than you've ever seen blood be before. Um, that ends their turn. It brings us back up to Argenta. It is very dark.
Do I have a sense of like how far I am into the darkness?
Um, yeah, you would have seen the darkness. You would have seen where the darkness started from. So, again, if this was on a battle map, you would see where the edge is.
Okay, so grappling this one, can I make it out of the darkness?
What's your speed?
Uh, grappled 20.
20. Cool. Yeah, you can make it. You can make 20 feet. So you to drag him out. Um, the creature is still extremely pissed, but now that it can see again, it's looking around. It doesn't see its quarry. It's trying to get away from you. What do you want to do?
Um, so what I will do is I'm going to load Fury with 2 hot shot rounds with my first attack,
Okay.
just while I'm manhandling this creature.
Mm-hmm.
Put Fury to its back and use my second attack to shoot the hot shot round into it.
Okay. Go ahead. You don't have any like benefits to hitting a grapple target, do you?
I don't have disadvantage because I have the gunner feat.
Well, yeah, I know that, but I wasn't sure if you had like Tavern Brawl or something where you get advantage for it. So it'll still be. Actually, I'll say since you have it grappled and you're pressing into it, I'll say you have advantage still. That makes sense to me.
All right.
Still need to just to see how to make sure you're aiming in the right spot. You're not gonna just like do an in and out kind of thing.
Yeah, so 24 to hit.
24. Yeah, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
I do need a con save.
Con save. Well, these guys are made of con. Actually, they have a decent con save. I've got a 26.
Yeah, it saves.
Okay.
So it doesn't catch fire, sadly, but it does still take 8 damage.
8 damage. Hey, 8 damage is 8 damage. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
No, I'm good for now.
All right. So, Rowan, the one that was going after you, choose even or odd.
God.
It seems to. Oh, but you're still inside the darkness.
Yeah, I went into the darkness 15 feet.
Yeah. So you can't tell any of this, but Argenta, you would watch one of these creatures run out, look around, and seem extremely confused, and wait until it can see its target, and do absolutely nothing because it can't see you, and it really only cares about you right now. The one. Liliane, go ahead and choose even or odd.
Even.
Yeah, you don't see the creature because they're stuck running around in the darkness and they don't find their way out. Relwyn, it is dark. What would you like to do?
Now, I don't know that in regards to what giving my team the heads up in regards to what the spell I'm going to do is going to do. But I need to end this fight because this is way outside even the norm in this realm in regards to, well, death is one thing. Overly verdant life attacking us is fucking bizarre. Rowan essentially is giving everyone the heads up about if you can help it, close your eyes. First off, he's going to use a bonus action for your nifty thing that you gave me from the surcoat.
Okay.
And he is going to go into the bonus action sermon. I'm just going to tell it real quick. I'll put it in here for everybody. He will talk about the Dark Lady, about death, death and light, the balance between, and he's going to emphasize over life and light in this instance, giving everyone the heads up about the closing their eyes thing, and which will give everyone a chance for a reaction to the type of damage they're going to take as he backs up because he knows where the air. He will essentially back up out of the darkness. He knows where the majority. I'm sure he will see his friendo over there if he glances over, but he knows not to look him in the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just going to be like, if you can help taking a knee, do that too. As he will take a knee, and then he will cast Sunburst.
Okay. How big an area is Sunburst hit?
It's ridiculous, and I'll put that.
We'll just say everybody
as
then.
well. Yeah,
We'll just call it everybody.
I think it's a 60-foot radius.
yeah.
So to kind of explain how this particular sermon for the next minute.
Well, this is a bonus action.
Yeah. So the way that this
Yeah.
sermon works, just so everyone's aware, for the next minute, anyone that can hear, because his Sir Code is effectively giving a sermon at this point. You can hear it actually speaking in his voice for the next minute. During that time, what's your proficiency bonus right now? Is it 5 or 6?
6.
6. Okay, so during that time, if any of you takes damage, you can use a reaction to give yourself resistance to that damage for that attack. The total number of times that reaction can be used across the entire party is 6. So if Vala gets hit 3 times and uses it 3 times, and then Lilianne, Argenta, and Relwyn each get hit once, that's all the uses, and it ends early. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
cool.
essentially, this will take your reaction if you do it, with a heads up I'm giving you. I don't know if I'm giving them the heads up about the spell, but I understand, so I'm going to cast that. And I'll also put the spell about Sunburst, because it doesn't say anything about ending darkness. And he will let loose for the second time. He's going to let loose Sunburst. So all party members all creatures within that radius will be a Constitution 20 saving throw. Because there is a blinded effect if they fail to save.
I'm going to start rolling because I've got 7 rolls to make. So the rest of you guys make your con saves too.
I don't know if they get advantage or anything with a heads up or whatever.
I'm going to say, because just knowing that it's coming, I'm not going to really give them an advantage because it's still they have to. The Constitution save is them enduring it.
Yeah.
If it's a dex save, I might have been a little bit more lenient because prepping might give them something. But this is just, you have to live through this, and being prepared for it's not going to make it that much easier. So first one is a 19. No, first one saves.
The
Second
DC
one's
is
a nat
20, by the
1.
way.
Yeah, no, they got what's 7 and 5? 12. They got a 22. So the second one got a nat 1. The third one got an 18, so that's a fail. Fourth one got a 20, that's a save. Fifth one got a 2. That's a fail. Sixth one got another 2, that's impressive. Seventh one got a 5. Yeah, so 2 of them made their saves. The rest of them are going to take a lot of damage in just a second here, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So why don't you go roll your damage? For the rest of you guys, Liliane, what'd you get for your con save?
Whoa.
So you'll take full damage, Argenta.
22.
You're taking half, Vala.
11.
Okay, so
Yeah.
go ahead and roll
So-
your damage.
And just FYI, so if you made a save, that's half damage, and if you're using your reaction for the resistance, that'll be half of that
Yeah.
from my sermon. Okay, and this will be all radiant damage. Not a 6 in the bunch. 37.
37. Hey, that's still nice. So I'm gonna just use easy stuff. Let's go. 37. Boom. 37. Boom. 37. Boom. 37. He's looking real rough. Damn. Boom. And then then what's half of 37? That's going to be 17, right? 18.
Yeah, 18. Argenta's going to quarter it to 9 with a reaction.
Cool. And again, any of you guys that want to do that, you can have the damage.
Double resistance is not a thing, correct?
No,
it's
you can
not.
only be resistant or not
No.
resistant. So
You make the save, but then the resistance will help you.
For the first time in this campaign, it finally pays off. I am resistant to radiant damage.
I will also mention anyone that failed their save is also blind.
They're
Does
blinded.
True Sight have any impact on that?
I believe True Sight makes you immune to the blind condition.
Does it say that?
I want to say it does. Look up what True Sight does. Give me a second here.
I'm going to work that out.
So I thought.
Oh, it's true seeing, wouldn't it be?
Well, no, true seeing just gives you true sight, is the thing.
Yeah. I'm going to rule it as it's a 6th level spell, so you're immune to blind. However,
So,
is it a concentration or no?
True seeing is
I
not.
don't think it's concentration.
True seeing just lasts an hour.
Yeah, and True Sight. It's a 6th level spell. You're immune to blind. We're gonna go with that. I'm fine with that. I'm not upset about it. If this is a bad ruling, we will deal with that later. So the rest of these guys are blinded for a long time, except for 2 of them. So congratulations on that.
But anyone who's still in darkness was still kind of. Rowan's kind of like working it out, like it might even out. That's the reason why he's not dispelling the darkness.
It does say at the very bottom of Sunburst, the
Oh, does it
spell
say that?
dispels any darkness in its area.
Oh,
that
there
was
it is,
created
yeah.
by the spell.
Oh, I looked
So
at
the darkness spell is
The
gone.
darkness is gone. Okay.
However, Lilianne is not aware that the darkness is gone.
No. And I did use the reaction.
Okay. So is there anything else you want to do with your overpowered turn?
No, I've literally used everything I could.
Okay. Lilianne, you're currently blind. You get a save at the end of your turn to see if you can get rid of the blindness. But with that knowledge, what do you want to do?
I'm sorry. If I am aware Lillian is blind, I would probably move closer to her.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. That's fine.
Okay.
Before the blindness, could I see it?
You saw one who is a little bit too far away for you to make a melee attack, so you know where they were before you went blind. If you'd like to move towards them and try to make an attack at the area where they used to be, I'll say you can make an attack roll with disadvantage.
I'm going to do that.
Okay. I would say I would probably think that Relwyn would be smart enough to kind of step out of the way if Lilianne starts running towards.
Well, I imagine I'd be behind.
So yeah, you run over. Go ahead and take a swing.
And that will be.
Well, actually, the one that you're attacking is blind, so you would have advantage because they can't see their attacker, and you have disadvantage because you can't see them. So make a flat roll.
It was that 28.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
What with the blast shield in? I can't see anything.
Yeah.
Use the force, you friggin' Mary Sue. No, don't look down the barrel of a lightsaber, you stupid.
What did you got for me?
Sorry.
29.
29 damage?
Yeah.
How did you do 29 damage?
And I have my right after.
Oh, yeah, you have everything on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Let's make this easier for me.
reason that matters.
The radiant damage doesn't matter. However, as you go forward and you take this swing, you feel some resistance against the blade as you obviously hit into something, and then no resistance as the you can't see this, but Rowan, you watch as he just cleaves off the creature's head, and you hear the familiar sound of a body dropping in front of you. Unfortunately,
Imagine it was
you have
it's like
no
a s-
idea where any else of them are.
Imagine it was like that scene from Interview with the Vampire with the scythe.
It just shoop.
With this,
Yeah.
like, oh!
Um,
I am curious. When I did the radiant damage, are they still doing? Does it look like? Did that have the same effect as fire, or?
it's still burnt them. It doesn't. You didn't see anything you wouldn't expect radiant damage to do to them. Does that answer your question?
But are they still? Does it look like they're still?
They
like
seem
they're-
to be still healing.
Okay.
We haven't since your turn happened. They haven't healed yet because none of their turns have come up. But I will tell you, Radiance does not turn off their regeneration.
Okay.
So, see, I am. Let's see. So, would I know that wasn't down? That I'm blind?
Yeah, you would have heard the body drop. So you know that one's down. You have no idea where any other creatures are.
Yeah.
But you know that one's down. And if you want to attack the air next to you with your other attack, you can. I won't make you roll for it. But there's none other that are close enough for you to hit.
I can't say I'm a
All right.
And what the baby throw a blind?
Say that one more time. Oh, con save. It's another DC 20 con save. Yeah, Rowan has a high spell save DC.
Yeah, the Slayer code also bumped it up.
No, 14.
All right, so the two of them are still trapped in ice. So we're gonna try that again.
No, leave
No,
it. Their actions.
no. So they're happy in the ice. They don't want to leave. You don't realize this. They were buried underground and they were good with that. So now they're just buried above ground. So they don't care. You're helping them, is what it is. And they like that. That's what they wanted. So, see, you're helping.
Is the other one that was after me blind?
Yeah, he's blind. So, choose even or odd, Argenta.
Even.
He's gonna just take a random, go in a random direction and then try to attack the first thing he finds. And he finds nothing. Argenta, you made your save, right?
Yeah.
So you can watch him just going around swinging at nothing. Nowhere near anybody. You know, if it wasn't for the fact that he's trying to kill you, you might think it was almost adorable. Like he has this childlike innocence of attacking invisible creatures. He does get his healing, so that's nice. But the rest of them are just chilling in the ice. They like it. It's great. They think it's the coolest thing ever. It ends eventually, right?
They're very cool.
Does it end?
I was about to
Let
say,
me
did I write it lasts for a minute or something like that? Because if I didn't, I should have. Because these guys are never getting out of it.
Let me check your magic item. No.
While
Wait,
he's,
these are actions.
no. While he's doing that, Vala, you were blind, but you're not kind of blind. Do something cool.
I am going to. There's one in front of me that, if I remember correctly, was looking bad.
Yes.
Or is it dead now?
That one is dead now. Because it had low
Okay.
hit points and I'm tired of rolling so many checks, that's the one that Liliane killed. It was
Okay.
easier. It had almost Like it was almost the exact amount of hit points that it had. So I'm like, screw this. I don't want 7 of
Yeah.
these.
All right then. I will need to find another one.
You know,
And-
the one that broke out of the ice and the other one that was really into you both seem to be the most damaged at this point, and both of those are blind. The 2 that are not
Okay.
blind seem to be on the healthier side because they seem to keep regenerating.
All right. Feel like I need to hit them big. I'm gonna go ahead and cast a guiding bolt.
Okay.
And try to hit the one.
So with
one,
this,
I guess that was into me.
with this being an
Okay.
attack roll, if you hit the one that was aiming for you, you have advantage because they can't see you
Okay.
because they're blind.
That's the one I'm going after then.
Go for it. Make me an attack roll.
Oof. A dirty 20.
Definitely hits. Go ahead and roll me some damage.
It'll be this plus 5. It's a lot of ones. 28.
28 is not a bad amount, though. All right, it's looking
And
still rough, and
it-
now it's glowing.
Yep.
Anything else you want to do?
I would like to use my bardic inspiration to inspire Liliane.
Okay. Liliane,
You
you
were
hear
once
some.
blind, but you can see. I believe in you.
You feel the rush of support from Vala. That dude's dead. This dude's gonna heal a bit. So the one you just hit with guiding bolt, you can see a few of the wounds from the guiding bolt starting to knit themselves, but not all of them. And I just need you to choose even or odd. Vala.
Let's go even.
All right. It's actually going to go directly for you. It heard the sound of you inspiring someone, and it rushes forward. It's going to take 2 attacks at you, both made with disadvantage. So I don't think. Well, 13 hit you.
13 will not.
Okay, and the second attack, well, the first thing I rolled was a nat 1, so I don't need to roll the other one. Unfortunately, it is very, very late right now. So I do have everything saved in the combat tracker for D&D Beyond. So we can pick this up at the beginning of the next session, but I don't want to keep you guys any later. So unfortunately, that is where we're going to end it for today. As always, if you missed any of this, I do upload all these to my YouTube channels, youtube.com/TraderJody. Otherwise, again, it's all for me today. I will see you guys in the next time. All right? Bye-bye.